Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Jessie and this is the Knit Up and Dye podcast, episode 121, Gear Up, Focus, and Upload. As always, I'm going to start with my thank yous, and I have my cheat sheet handy here. Special thank you goes out to all of my subscribers, both new and ongoing. I love you guys. What you see here is all about you, and your feedback drives this content. I'm always looking to hear from you. Hello and welcome goes out to Marcy Makes, Hens and Chickens Fiber Arts, Jordy, Lori's Crochet Corner, and Rudy. Thank you for adding me to your day. Special love and thanks go out to Monica, Stephanie, Nancy, Rachel, Jorge, Leanne, David, Donna, Amy, Tara, Diane, Allison, Barbara, Adriana, Wayne, Patricia, Lisa Lette, Cappy, Kath, Benty, Christy, Needsy, Charlotte, Roseanne, Linda, Marie, Betty Ann, Scott and John, Kate, Janet, and Terry at Unwound. I'm out of breath already. Much love goes out to my Zoom family, Robert, Juanita, Paula, Brian, Katie, Eve, Jamie, Jen, Elizabeth, Shirley, Roz, and Nicole. A warm hello and thank you goes out to all of my patrons. You honor me and you make this possible. This is going to be a short episode. I have a lot of work I still need to do. I'm prepping for my Black Friday sale. There's going to be deep discounts, deepest discounts ever on everything in my shop. I am overloaded right now and I really need to clear some stuff out, and that is good news for you guys. So be watching. If you're looking for some great deals on yarn, Black Friday is it, guys. While you're sitting on the sofa recovering from cooking and just enjoying your downtime and knitting, be sure to pop in and take advantage of those deals. All of my patrons are going to receive a coupon code the day before. That's Thanksgiving. That's going to give you an exclusive pre-sale discount. So be watching out for that. And I just realized I need to make sure that that coupon goes out the day before so that you're prepared. Need to double check that. But there's going to be some really phenomenal sales in there. Be sure to pop in and check that out. Many of the colorways that are in there are not coming back. I'm really looking to refresh and do some new things, so grab it while you can. I've been knitting. I have been knitting. I told you guys last time that I had finished the baby sweater for my friend Stephanie for her baby shower. The baby shower got moved. It got rescheduled. There was some kerfluffle with scheduling at work for the boardroom space so that they could have the party, and I already had my gift there. So I presented it privately instead of in the party, and I managed to get a picture of the sweater. I hope I can get it off my phone and put it in here for you guys. She was thrilled. It meant a lot to her, both the baby sweater and the shawl that I made for her, and that's everything. It means so much when somebody receives a hand-knitted gift and they truly appreciate it and understand what goes into it. She's knit-worthy, and that just makes me so happy that she truly, legitimately enjoys this gift. That's everything. It's probably for the best that it wasn't presented to her as part of the party, because sometimes in the melee, things get set aside and you don't have time to really appreciate it. So I'm absolutely thrilled with how that gift giving turned out. I have been working on my How to Eat an Elephant blanket. Haha. I have my great big bin here, ta-da, with my blanket in it. So I talked to you guys about how I really needed to focus, and I need to set real goals to get this blanket done. I want to get it done, and that's going to require some focus, and that's going to require really giving it some attention and being steady about it. And I set the goal to do this before I turn 50, or any time prior to turning 51. Yeah, these goals are wishy-washy. And that goal meant that I needed to average 3 squares a week on my blanket. So when I talked to you guys last and I set that goal, I had a little bit more to go on this corner square up here, and there's my progress keeper right there. So we're going to take my progress keeper out of this, And my goal was to get 3 squares done this week. Well, I did better than that. I got, oh, it's getting big. I got 8.5 squares done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this half square here. I couldn't be happier. I had met my goal by Tuesday, and then just had other time where I sat in front of the TV in my evenings to enjoy my evenings. I'm putting this into square 8.5 so we can watch progress next week. And got more done. I'm realistic. I'm very realistic about this. I know that this is not going to be the average. This is not going to be how it goes going forward. This is, I had spare time. I know that I'm going to be distracted with other things, other projects, other deadlines. There's yarn. I've got other, I'm going to talk to you about other stuff I'm going to cast on. But well begun is half done, and I'm super proud of this. I really feel really good about it, and I'm going to try to keep myself to the 3 a week rule. I have some great cheerleaders out there who are already on me, thank you, and pushing me to make sure that I'm doing it and staying accountable to it. And that means a lot. That is support. That's what this is about. That's why I'm here. I'm here to support you and your projects and to get support from you. And that interaction is really important and valuable and appreciated, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you. And if you need support, reach out to me. Let me know, and I'll be right there for you every step of the way. So the project is making progress. I did set it up so that I am doing 3 columns, as you can see by the big bite here, so that I can see that a row a week is getting done. And I think that's really going to help me. It becomes very obvious when I'm not doing my work. That, and I'm going to keep taking pictures and posting it. You guys are going to be so sick of this blanket. What's fun for me is that I'm adding new colorways on, new little bits that are left over from other projects that I can readily see. And it makes me happy, and it's funny how it has changed and evolved, and new bits come in and other bits run out, and it's fun to watch it grow. And boy, oh boy, that backside is one hairy nightmare. I've talked about this in the past, I've addressed this in the past as to whether or not I'm going to weave this all in, or I'm simply going to knot it carefully. I think I am going to stitch a fleece back onto this 3 years from now. We'll worry about it then. There is a large section where the weaving in did get done. There it is. And it's equally as beautiful, and I'm tempted, although it'll probably take me another 3 years, to weave in all the ends and just leave it with a front side and a back side. We'll see. I've got time. I've got tons of time to vacillate and waffle on that. So this project is getting love, it's getting attention, and I feel super good and proud about it, and I hope you're excited to see I'm sticking to my guns here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. That having been said, it's holiday knitting season. Yes, I know, I've got a late start. Don't I always have a late start on these things? I did get one project done that I had initially meant for myself, and just the longer I worked on it, the more I realized it wasn't meant for me. Do they talk to you? Do your projects speak to you and tell you, hey, we're going in a different direction? Mine do. And I kept saying, no, this is for me, this is for me. And it kept going, and so it wasn't. In the end, it wasn't. And I have it all finished and all set aside, and I need to take some photos of it. I'm so bad at that. I get all excited and I wrap stuff, and then I realize you have no evidence that this ever existed. So I'm going to take some photos and set that aside, and then after the gift giving has been done, I'll show you pictures of what I did. That having been said, I have 3 gift projects that one's done, one's in process, and one is percolating and needs to get on the needles. We're getting there, we're getting there. That having been said, so I get the blanket, I've got one project on the needles, I got another project I need to get on the needles for holiday knitting. Then I'm gonna knit myself another sweater. I even finished dyeing yarn for it this weekend, and I want to cast it on. I get castitis about that big time. I'm going to be knitting it in my Glamrock colorway. This is on my Rumba Monkey DK base. It's 100% superwash merino. It is 100 grams with 274 yards of put up over 100 grams. It's a light DK. It's the exact same base that I used for my Brickyard sweater that was in that beautiful Acromantula colony colorway done by Supernatural Yarns, and I love that sweater. I wear it all the time. If you're not familiar with it, if you're new to the podcast, it's Brickyard by Elizabeth Doherty. This is a really bad print-off picture of it. It's an A-line, top-down, in the round, seamless sweater with a beautiful texture pattern over the yoke. I loved it. I loved knitting it. The instructions were clear. They were beautiful. It was a joy, an absolute joy. And I want another sweater. I need another sweater. I'm wearing the heck out of that sweater. And I want to branch out, and I want to do a color that I would not normally gravitate towards. Glamrock is it. I think it's going to be very pretty. The collar is done almost dead last, so if I knit it and I find that the colors are just a little bit too strong for me to wear around too close to my face, I can readily dye up some of my pewter colorway, which is a really deep pewter color, and I can use that around the neckline. I have a backup action going on here for the color, because this is not a color that I normally gravitate toward or purchase or wear, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I think it's gonna be pretty. That having been said, my original knit Brickyard, I think my row gauge on the actual body of the sweater was bigger than called for. I haven't gone back and remeasured it. These things grow, and it's an A-line, and as much as I love it, and I will wear it to death, I want another sweater that's straight through the body. And that's easy adaptation to this pattern. Really, really easy. Actually, it's going to use less yardage. I have no qualms about being able to make that adjustment. But I'm going to make one more adjustment. I'm modding this pattern. It is so well written. It is so comprehensive that it's actually very, very easy to make a couple of modifications to it. The second modification that I'm going to make is to the texture pattern across the yoke. While I absolutely love that texture, I think it is gorgeous. I think it's so flattering, it's so pretty. I don't want my sweaters to be super identical. I don't want it to look like, oh, she knit another one of those. Yes, she did. She loves that sweater. But I do want to change it up just a hair, and I want to make it recognizable, but slightly different. So I'm toying with, instead of doing the brick stitch that she did, just making it a simple broken rib. It should have about the same elasticity as the stitch, and yes, I will swatch. But it's also going to substitute in nicely because of the repeats in there, because there is, I'm trying to remember how many stitches are in her repeat. It's not charted. Multiple of 4 plus 3. So I just have to match that. And a simple rib stitch is pretty well going to do that. Broken rib. So I'm looking at that, I'm toying with that to figure out how I can have a slightly different texture on top. All the other elements will be exactly the same. The sleeves are going to be the same. The arch, the faux seams, the faux seams down the side. All of the rest of it's going to be exactly identical. I'm just changing the body shape and the texture on the top. And I have cast-on-itis so bad that depending on the rest of my day, I may actually cast this on at least my swatch today. Yeah, fingers and toes and nose crossed. But I need to cast on the gift one as well. Do you do this? Do you wind up and suddenly you've got 4 projects all sitting around in various stages of cast on? I do. And okay, so back to my list here, make sure I'm on track. That brings me around to crochet. I very much am biting at the bit to cast on my Through the Clouds by Rachie Newen. I have made one, which I put away apparently, and I want to make another one in corals and pinks and pretty little bits of crimson, pretty colors. I love my first one so much I want a second one. I'm actually now, as I'm talking about it, thinking that that might be a New Year's cast on. I may hold off and be kind to myself, as I have clearly got a significant workload ahead of me, and make that a New Year goal kind of a thing. So we'll see the direction that goes in. Yeah. That pesky job gets in the way, doesn't it? I just want to sit home and knit all day. I wish I could. All the projects that I would do, all the patterns that I would try, all the colors I would, yeah. Okay, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm up to. DyeMonkeyYarns.com. Make sure you pop over there. I am uploading everything I have. That sounds odd, I'm sure. I'm sure you're like, how come not everything was in the store to begin with? I have a bunch of things that were leftovers from giveaways, things that I had made for giveaways. I have a bunch of things that are left over that are from trunk shows. I have all kinds of little bits and bobs that they add up, and sometimes it just doesn't feel like it's worth the effort to photo it 4 ways and write a description and upload it. Sometimes that takes more work than it is just to set it aside and call it a giveaway and use it eventually for that. That's kind of where I'm at, and I'm realizing that there's a lot of that kicking around in my studio. And so I'm putting up everything, absolutely everything I can get my hands on. Check out the shop. There is a lot there, and if you're looking for something unique, if you're looking for a nice gift, there might be something there that is perfect for you or somebody you know. That includes all the little tools and gadgets. That includes some new tools that I talked to you about last week. We have those really, really cool Notions wallets from Harbor House Baskets. We have a bunch of project baskets that I'm trying to get uploaded as well. It's all about the photography. But again, remember, all of this is going to be on sale for Black Friday, so be watching out and go snag some great, great deals. I think that is everything I have for you guys right now. I'm in negotiations to do some kit offerings. I have a couple more patterns that are starting to hit process and hopefully will be there. I'm not going to make promises about having stuff up by Christmas. I'm just not. So far as my new designs go, I'm overwhelmed right now. With regard to life, all my focus right now is on the shop and getting it ready for you guys for this big sale and this big opportunity. All my holiday thoughts are really, really pulled back this year. I'm not doing a lot of planning for Thanksgiving or Christmas. We have a giant corporate move getting ready to happen with my business, and it's going to happen like Christmas week. While have not yet been told that I'm carrying boxes, there's a huge shift in a lot of our processes, and change is big and it's stressful and it's overwhelming, and there's a lot of change happening. There's a huge push to go paperless, which means I'm not hanging things on the wall, I'm not referencing stuff, I'm changing my entire workflow and how my brain works. And while that seems separate from this, and while it seems an easy thing to handle. It's not. It's not. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of emotional energy. And even just moving, that's going to change my commute. It's going to change my timelines in the day. It's going to change my schedule. It's going to change my scenery. It's going to change my flow. And all of that is significant. I'm sure if you have ever moved against your will, that you recognize what I'm saying, that wow, there's this shift that happens, and it takes time to adjust to that. This time of year is already stressful for me. And moving is really difficult for me. I have been very, very blessed that I have lived here in this house now for 14 years, I think. That's the longest I have ever lived anywhere, ever, in my whole life. I think the second closest to that might have been 5 years in one location. I think that's the longest I ever lived anywhere else for a extended period. I've always moved. And I hate it passionately. I hope that I never have to move my residence ever again. And if I do, that it's purely by choice, that it's something that I desire, that I want, and I can't envision that happening. As much as I talk about how beautiful other regions of the country are and how much I would love to live there, it's because I have enjoyed my visits. But when I actually think about packing up my world and making that shift, I get dizzy and nauseous, and I start to stress out, and I get very emotional. It's very difficult for me to make shifts any longer. So that was tons of exposition. The reality is I am under a lot of personal stress over the corporate move that's going to happen. And so my focus is this, here with you guys, my knitting, my dyeing, my company, my website, making sure that I gift you with an amazing sale for the holiday season, and really trying to compartmentalize. And then when I am outside of that compartment, then it's work and it's focus and it's accepting change and it's making the changes. And I'm trying to come to that zen. If you have tips on graciously accepting change and not panicking and putting aside panic attacks and getting deep, rich sleep without actually drugging myself, I would love to hear from you. I am willing to employ all manners of self-treatment. That's what I have for you guys this week. I hope that your holiday season is peaceful status quo and you joyfully get to cast on whatever you want and work on it in the way that you want, and have family and friends and warmth surrounding you, and may your yarn chicken battles all be won by you. And I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Let's see, this is, trying to look at the calendar in my head. We have one more week before Black Friday. We have one more weekend. I've got a dental appointment this week, and I'll get to sit and talk to you guys a little bit more. I will have 3 more squares to show you, minimum, I promise, and maybe some cast on to my sweater. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye.